Have you ever thought that a nest made from the saliva of a bird could become a delicacy or a skincare product? Its high price even makes it a popular gift in many Asian countries. In today's video, let's explore how farmers make millions of dollars by raising and producing edible birds' nests. Edible bird's nest can only be found in Southeast and Eastern Asia. Unlike other birds, swiftlets don't use trees to build their nests. Instead, they construct them entirely out of their saliva. These nests are edible and highly valued for their nutritional benefits. In the wild, swiftlet nests are found deep within caves. Harvesters must set up scaffolding to climb the dark, damp walls and collect the nests. As demand for this delicacy has grown, man-made swiftlet houses have been built to create ideal environments for the birds to reproduce. In Malaysia alone, it is estimated that there are around 30,000 swiftlet farms. The bird's nest industry contributes $400 million to the country's economy. In recent years, the price of bird's nests has surged due to high consumer demand. This has prompted bird's nest producers and the Malaysian government to increase production through conservation efforts and indoor farming. Most swiftlet farmers focus on building birdhouses to attract the birds. They also consider factors such as the birds' flight paths, population in the area, proximity to water sources, and environmental conditions. Farmers must assess whether the area they choose for farming is home to other bird species as part of the ecosystem. This is because other bird species can be drawn to the farms by the specialized sounds used to attract swiftlets. This can affect the swiftlets and the quality of their nests. Essentially, a swiftlet house is a structure with artificial conditions mimicking a natural swiftlet cave. It is designed to attract swiftlets to live and breed inside. The houses are built in areas with abundant food sources for swiftlets, such as insects. Farmers maintain the interior of the house at a humidity level of around 80%, with a temperature ranging from 78 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit. They also keep the space dark and damp to simulate the bird's natural cave environment. When designing swiftlet houses, it is crucial to consider the bird's physical and behavioural needs. This house has small entry holes, just big enough for swiftlets to enter and exit, while larger animals are kept out. The most fascinating aspect of these swiftlets is their nests. They build their nests using starch-like sticky threads of saliva secreted by a pair of enlarged salivary glands. This nesting material gives them a competitive advantage over other bird species. The nest resembles a cupped hand or a crescent-shaped bowl, measuring around 3 to 5 inches in diameter. One side of the nest is attached to a wall, while the other serves as a perch or a space to lay eggs and nurture chicks. Farms use the sounds of baby swiftlets to attract a colony to breed within their buildings. Over time, as more swiftlets are drawn in, the colony grows. The electronic sound system consists of a speaker, a unit capable of storing audio data, and a broadcasting device. Compared to other types of livestock, raising swiftlets requires minimal care. Although kept in captivity, swiftlets still live according to their wild instincts. The key is that farmers cannot feed them. They can only provide the necessary infrastructure. Swiftlets need privacy, a safe environment, and enough comfort to build their nests for their next generation. Farmers also follow environmental guidelines when using pesticides and managing bird waste. Additionally, significant effort is needed to maintain the integrity of the nests. Harvesting can be done regularly, averaging around 5 to 6 times a year. The process of collecting birds' nests is labour intensive and does not involve machinery, contributing to the high cost of the final product. Farmers climb ladders to harvest the nests, gently removing each one from ceilings and walls. Harvesting takes place as soon as the swiftlets complete their nests, typically 1 to 2 months before the rainy season. At this stage, the nests are relatively clean, and the birds still have the opportunity to rebuild their nests before the rains arrive. At the processing plant, the nests are cleaned manually by workers. Proper cleaning helps retain the valuable nutrients in the birds' nests. First, workers remove any excess materials from the nests. The freshly harvested nests are soaked in purified water at 59 degrees Fahrenheit to eliminate impurities. This soaking process lasts around 30 minutes until the nest fibers separate. To truly remove any remaining feathers, factories use vegetable oil to make the feathers float to the water surface more quickly. This simple processing method is applied in large-scale production and shows promise for widespread use in industrializing and processing birds' nest products. After the cleaning process, intact fibers are separated and damaged ones are sorted to form birds' nests through molting. The next step is drying the nests. This involves using fans and air drying. If the nests are not dried quickly, bacteria and mold can develop. At this stage, the colour of some nests may turn brown, reducing their value. In addition to domestic consumption, birds' nests are a highly sought after export product. At a production facility in Vietnam, more than 100 workers are working efficiently to ensure a steady supply of birds' nests for export to China. The retail price of a bottle of bird's nest drink depends on the type and quantity of bird nest used, as well as the additional ingredients like collagen, ginseng, or goji berries. Although birds' nests are relatively expensive, they remain popular in Asian countries due to their high nutritional value and therapeutic properties. Consuming birds' nests helps stimulate red blood cell production, boost the immune system, and support the treatment of chronic illnesses. Southeast of Mount Kinabalu in Malaysia, millions of years of water flow have created one of the largest cave systems on Earth. Life still thrives in these dark, damp caves. Swiftlets living here use clicking sounds as a form of echolocation to navigate through the darkness and find their chosen spot to raise their young. Their nesting sites are located high on slippery walls. The swiftlet's saliva is ideal for adhering to the cave surface and dries quickly upon contact with air. However, it can take a pair of swiftlets up to 2 months of effort to complete a nest, ready for reproduction. Some people risk their lives to harvest these million-dollar nests made from swiftlet saliva. In Malaysia, swiftlet nest harvesters climb towering cliffs to collect the nests, a perilous and dangerous job. These harvesters scale slippery limestone cliffs, facing the constant danger of falling from a height of nearly 100 feet. They search for the rare nests using ancient harvesting methods. farmers construct rope ladders and attach wooden planks for easier climbing. However, skilled nest harvesters rarely use ladders, relying only on their hands and feet for support. The best time for harvesting is during the day, when the birds leave the caves to forage. Using flashlights to light their path, harvesters spray water on the nest to loosen them before carefully peeling them off the cave walls. Once the nests are removed, the swiftlets will rebuild them within 15 days. Nest harvesting typically occurs from December to April, during which harvesters can collect up to 2,500 nests over 5 months. Despite collecting wild nests, farmers are careful not to disturb any nests containing eggs. They understand that the survival of the swiftlets is crucial for sustaining their own livelihood. Do you know how the delicious fresh Muscovy duck eggs on your dining table are produced? From selecting breeds and caring for the ducks to harvesting the eggs, every step requires the dedication and expertise of the farmers. So let's explore how they raise millions of Muscovy ducks to provide an abundant source of eggs for the market. The Muscovy duck is a popular poultry breed that many farmers choose to raise in Vietnam. Most farmers opt for extensive free-range farming on a small scale to take advantage of surplus land or use agricultural byproducts. Although local Muscovy duck breeds have lower meat and egg productivity, they are easy to raise, highly resistant to disease, and adapt well to the local climate and soil conditions. However, imported Muscovy duck breeds yield much higher meat and egg production. Therefore, one of the most effective ways to quickly raise Muscovy ducks is to use imported breeds to increase farming efficiency. Farmers select Muscovy ducklings that hatch after 34 to 35 days of incubation. The young must be healthy, active, with dry feathers and bright eyes. Farmers avoid selecting Muscovy ducks with matted feathers that are too small in size or have unhealed navels, as their risk of mortality is very high. Male Muscovy ducks have a faster growth rate and larger market sizes compared to females. Therefore, when raising Muscovy ducks for meat, farmers select males to achieve higher economic efficiency. In newly hatched Muscovy duck flocks, males often have larger heads, longer bills, and bigger legs, and are less agile than the females. Additionally, to reduce mortality rates, they are regularly vaccinated against duck plague in order to treat and prevent E. coli infections. Farmers usually collect duck eggs at least once a day to ensure they are not dirty, cracked, or damaged. The eggs are manually gathered and brought to a processing area before incubation. The farmers select eggs of uniform size, with thick shells, no cracks, and no deformities. Eggs with abnormalities are not selected for incubation due to poor hatchability rates. They often use light to check on the internal quality of the eggs. This confirms the presence of embryos and ensures the eggs are free from defects. During the first 2 weeks of incubation, farmers must turn the eggs frequently, around 3 to 5 times a day. This ensures even development of the embryo and prevents it from sticking to the shell. Most farms invest in incubators and focus on the hatching process of Muscovy ducklings. Incubators provide a stable environment with controlled temperature and humidity. This ensures a higher hatching rate compared to manual methods. Additionally, incubators help minimize risks from environmental factors, resulting in higher quality ducklings. Thanks to incubators, farmers can optimize the breeding process, increase productivity, and improve efficiency in poultry farming. Farms specializing in Muscovy duck breeding are thriving. To maintain optimal humidity levels, farmers add bedding materials to absorb moisture and keep the environment dry, especially in Vietnam's high humidity climate. Muscovy ducklings under 2 weeks old need to be protected from drafts entering the coop. In cold weather, incandescent bulbs are used to keep the poultry warm. Farmers use 75-watt bulbs for a brooder containing 60 to 70 Muscovy ducklings. The ducklings need 24 hours of lighting until they reach 1 week old. The lighting duration is gradually reduced as they grow. By the time the Muscovy ducklings reach 3 weeks old, only 16 hours of lighting is needed. Each age group of Muscovy ducks requires maintaining the appropriate temperature to ensure that they stay healthy. After 28 days of age, they can be raised under natural light and temperature conditions. The barn can be built solely for large-scale farming or simply constructed. Farmers can use available materials such as bamboo or wood to build coops. Muscovy duck houses must be cool in the summer, warm in the winter, and protected from drafts. The coop floor should be flat, with a slope of around 10 degrees to make cleaning easier and improve drainage. When the young reach 10 days of age, they are raised at a density of around 25 to 30 per square metre. After 30 days, farmers raise around 5 to 6 Muscovy ducks per square metre. Farmers feed Muscovy ducks with compound feed until they are 4 weeks of age, or use available household food to supplement the nutrition for the livestock. In cases where farmers use a fully confined raising method, they often feed them pellets or homemade feed fixtures. Farmers can allow the ducks to eat freely, but typically divide feeding into 2 times, usually during cooler parts of the day. Farmers must ensure the feed is always fresh in order to encourage the Muscovy ducks to eat. They monitor the amount of food, and if there is leftover feed in the trough, the next feeding amount should be reduced. Muscovy ducks over 21 days old can be grazed in the fields during the day to forage for additional food. However, farmers will still need to supplement their diet. Poultry is not an aggressive animal, but if farmers do not provide enough protein in their diet, it can lead to them pecking at one another. Next is a common task on any farm. Feed and water troughs must be cleaned, and Muscovy duck waste must be removed regularly. Cleaning is simple but extremely important. This task directly impacts the health of the poultry. Typically, a 300-metre coop can accommodate 1,000 ducks, but experienced farmers only raise 500. Lower density allows Muscovy ducks to have better resistance and grow faster. Less waste is produced and the coop stays cleaner for longer. With more space, the ducks can move around freely. Many farmers choose to raise Muscovy ducks for economic growth due to the short raising period and high income that can be earned. However, compared to other livestock, this poultry has a higher loss rate. Therefore, farmers must recognise unusual signs in Muscovy ducks and make the necessary adjustments. If the flock gathers in one area, it is likely due to a draft. When the ducks' feathers are matted, it's because the coop is too humid and their care is not sufficient. Muscovy ducks over 70 days old are ready for sale. Each duck weighs around 3.5 kilograms. Not only do they need to meet a weight standard, but they also must have a uniform and healthy appearance. This breed of poultry is popular due to its sweet, lean meat that is rich in nutrients. Muscovy ducks raised through organic processes are in high demand. Their meat is primarily used in family meals. Farmers can harvest and sell eggs 3 to 4 times a year, depending on the size of the farm and care conditions. Each large farm can supply between 50,000 and 200,000 eggs annually. The eggs are typically stored in a cool environment before transportation to maintain their quality. In addition to the domestic market, some Muscovy duck eggs are also exported to Southeast Asian countries as well as China.